Board of Directors, Council Members 2022, immediate past presidents, members of the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists, Mrs. Rangani Wickremesinghe, and the family members and friends of Dr.Siri Wickremesinghe, Dr. Kuchlan Jayatilaka, the orator of Dr.Siri Wickremesinghe Memorial Oration 2022, officials of the Ministry of Health, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I thank Professor Nadira Karunavira, the immediate past president, for her kind introduction. I am thankful to the membership for placing trust and confidence in me to bear this privileged title, the President of the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists, 2022. I have a great determination to serve to the best of my ability in taking the college from strength to strength, adhering to the principles of professionalism. I pledge to maintain high professional standards and strive to achieve the excellence in microbiology. All are aware that the president of the college takes up this post at an induction ceremony for the benefit of the members of the college, with the intention of improving the competencies of members, finally aiming benefit to patients of the country with improved and better patient care. So it is clear that the induction ceremony symbolizes the unity of the members of the college. The Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists, SLCM in short, is an organization of professionals working in microbiology in Sri Lanka. The parent organization of SLCM was the Ceylon Association of Microbiologists, which was founded in 1969 with 16 members. This name was changed to the Sri Lanka Association of Microbiologists in 1974. In 1979, the members unanimously decided that the association should evolve into Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists with the new constitution. Currently, the college has a strength of 292 members, which I consider as the most precious resource. Out of them, 52 work as hospital microbiologists, 25 in other special research institutes, including special campaigns, 23 in universities, and 7 in private sector. 29 work as microbiologists overseas, either permanently or on temporary basis, undergoing compulsory postgraduate training, while majority of the other members are undergoing postgraduate training locally or awaiting overseas training. The members of the college have enormous potential, and each one of them has a unique capability and capacity. Our membership includes many specialties and subspecialties, namely microbiologist, virologist, mycologist, immunologist, and parasitologist. If I were to elaborate more on the objectives of the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists laid down in the current constitution, firstly, to promote the advancement of medical microbiology and to propagate information and disseminate knowledge among its members and other groups regarding this subject by different means. Secondly, to emphasize the importance of medical microbiology in Sri Lanka in relation to the control of infectious diseases and advise public and private sector on microbiology related problems that may arise in the country and to initiate appropriate action for their resolution. Thirdly, to support the representation of its members in international conferences, meetings, and seminars in connection with medical microbiology. The other objectives are to promote publication of original work in medical microbiology, to promote research and actively assist in such research, to promote collaboration with national and international associations with similar interests, and finally, to take steps as required for attainment of the above objectives. In keeping with the above objectives, our members work closely with the Ministry of Health Sri Lanka. In addition, SLCM closely work with other organizations such as Medical Supplies Division, National Medicines Regulatory Authority, World Health Organization, Sri Lanka Accreditation Board, State Pharmaceutical Corporation, Postgraduate Institute of Medicine, and other private organizations nationally and internationally as required. Our members conduct CMEs, workshops, training programs, and annual scientific sessions, publish the annual bulletin of SLCM and newsletters. They are dedicated teachers and take part in teaching, examinations, and workshops for different categories of healthcare workers for the development of disciplines in microbiology such as laboratory medicine, antimicrobial therapy, and infection prevention and control. Relevant members represent the Board of Study in Microbiology as per the existing PGIM ordinance, and eligible trainers take part in postgraduate educational activities of microbiology and other disciplines. Our members are dedicated infection preventionists and take an active role in updating infection control activities and their implementation, and also updating knowledge, skills, and attitudes of infection control, medical and nursing officers, and other health care workers. Microbiologists also serve as members of the Task Force of Microbiology and also contribute to the development of guidelines, protocols, concept papers, and policy planning documents which guide the delivery of health services in Sri Lanka. Our members act as technical experts for the Sri Lanka Accreditation Board SLAB for accreditation of medical laboratories. Our members also extend their services as external evaluators for the cosmetics, drugs, and devices at the National Medicine Regulatory Authority (NMRA), at the registration or at the technical evaluation of these items at MSD and SPC. As a professional body, we strongly consider that making the public aware is a very effective method of prevention of infectious diseases, and members play a major role through in-person attendance to such activities as well as via electronic and written media, whenever applicable and indicated. Research is an integral part of our work. SLCM, as a professional body, partners with country and other research grants whenever our services are needed. Postgraduate course in microbiology appreciate the importance of initiating research guidance, mentoring, and assisting in good quality publication. Next, I get on to my career as a clinical microbiologist. My services as a clinical microbiologist in different hospitals and institutes in the country, namely National Institute of Health Sciences, Kalutara, Teaching Hospital, Kurunegala, as the first microbiologist, followed by Colombo South Teaching Hospital for a very short period, and then almost equal service periods at the Apeksha Hospital, then National Cancer Institute, and the National Hospital of Sri Lanka, spans over past 20 years. Initial experience gained at Teaching Hospital Kurunegala as the first clinical microbiologist laid the cornerstone for me to realize the role of a clinical microbiologist, especially in and out of Colombo Hospital. Working at National Cancer Institute and NHSL made me realize further responsibilities a clinical microbiologist has to carry out with the already gained experience in different setups and community in Kurunegala, which actually strengthened my capacity and courage to serve the nation. In spite of the achievement, several challenges too were encountered, which could be successfully resolved with a concerted and coordinated effort of all stakeholders involved, and the same would continue in the future as well. With the experience I gained throughout my career as a clinical microbiologist, I am convinced our role within the clinical governance framework and develop a strong intention to make it a reality rather than leaving it as a blueprint. This led me, with the consensus from membership, to select the theme for the scientific activities of the college for my tenure as the president, the role of clinical microbiologists within clinical governance framework from blueprint to reality. I strongly believe that it has now surpassed the threshold required for the blueprint, that is, a plan or set of proposals, to enter into force, which would really ensure patients and the consumers receive safe and high quality healthcare, which should be the real purpose of the clinical governance framework. As you all know, clinical governance is a system through which healthcare organizations are accountable for continuously improving the quality of their services and safeguarding high standards of care by creating an environment in which excellence in care will flourish. Clinical governance is given through the integrated systems, processes, leadership, and culture that are at the core of providing safe, effective, accountable, and person-centered healthcare underpinned by continuous monitoring and improvement. The key principles or components of clinical governance include governance, leadership, and culture, patient safety and quality improvement systems, clinical performance and effectiveness, safe environment for the delivery of care, and partnering with consumers. 7 pillars can be considered under the principles and components: patient and public involvement, staff management and performance, risk management, education, training, and continuous professional development, clinical effectiveness and research, information management and communication, and audit for further improvement. Microbiologists has to take part in adopting implementing the above 3 principles or components and themes of clinical governance framework with the stakeholders such as administrative staff, other consultants, medical officers, other healthcare workers, including ancillary staff, in providing high-quality person-centered care which generates safe, effective, appropriate, and integrated care delivered in the right way at the right time with the right outcomes for each consumer. As a clinical microbiologist, I believe that it is valuable in making all understand that everybody has a role in pursuing excellence. In order to achieve this, the leader of the team has to be a role model. This enables others to realize their roles in the process, though it might take some time. The multidisciplinary approach, team concept, sharing the resources, and caring for others are some of the aspects I believe in achieving the success. In addition to improving knowledge and skills, great emphasis must be paid to improve the attitudes of the people involved, triggering change in the existing system. I would like to take a few aspects in explaining the role of a clinical microbiologist in clinical governance framework: antimicrobial resistance and laboratory arm, infection prevention and control, IPC arm, and some other aspects. When considering the AMR and laboratory arm, AMR has already become a global threat and it can develop into a global pandemic. The increasing trend of AMR worldwide is threatening human health with high morbidity and mortality in infectious diseases. Sri Lanka is no exception, and high rates of AMR match other figures in Southeast Asia. When I talk on AMR, I cannot forget about National Strategic Plan, NSP, for combating antimicrobial resistance in Sri Lanka 2017-2022, which is the fruit of the combined efforts of multi-sectoral collaboration under the One Health concept for combating AMR. The initial draft was formulated by the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, following a discussion with a wider group of stakeholders, namely other professional colleges, veterinary, agriculture and fishery, on the request made by the WHO in 2016, in which I could represent as one of the MR core group members of the SLCA. This was in line with the Global Action Plan. This draft document was subjected to wider discussion with a multi-sectoral group to produce the final document, with each group completing the area relevant to each sector. The development of the NSP provides the roadmap to combat AMR. The NSP is developed under 5 key strategies which are aligned with the strategic objectives of the Global Action Plan. The 5 strategies are further expressed with specific objectives and with short and long 2-year and 5-year milestones for implementation. As mentioned in the NSP AMR, National Advisory Committee on AMR, that is NAC-AMR, and National Action Plan Implementation and Strengthening Team, NAPIS, were formed and relevant terms of references were laid down. Many discussions were held and very successful activities were carried out in combating AMR. Due to excessive work related to COVID-19, there was unavoidable slowing down of activities related to AMR. I believe, as the focal point, Ministry of Health would think about reactivation NAPIS according to the term of references laid down, which would make the process a reality according to the time frames probably in the future, as it has been already planned further expansion from 2022. Components of NSP have to be implemented in all sectors of the country, irrespective of whether it is public or private, for this to be effective and make it a reality. Microbiologist has a major role to play with other stakeholders, demonstrating multisectoral and multidisciplinary involvement and team effort in combating AMR. As I mentioned a little while ago, some of the activities have been done, some have been commenced, others are successfully continuing but need further strengthening, and some are yet to be commenced due to some unavoidable reasons. Providing a foundation of knowledge as well as taking measures to make an effective, sustainable continuation of awareness will enhance acceptance among the different categories of population, encompassing prescribers, dispensers, as well as the general public. Targeting different audiences under one health concept was carried out from time to time, and the most recent one is during World Antimicrobial Awareness Week in November 2021. In addition to this awareness, the Sri Lanka College of Microbiology was able to organize an awareness among school children through Provincial Directors of Education island-wide, in which provincial microbiologists gave their valuable support, exhibiting team spirit. The public attending clinics and OPD in hospitals were made aware by microbiologists. Awareness and involvement of the public, etc., through written and electronic media is considered as another effective means of disseminating necessary messages. To make some of the very important components in the NSP AMR a reality, it is suggested to speed up the activities such as implementing strict drug registration and regulatory policies, streamlining evaluation activities and procurement policies, formulation and implementation of antibiotic stewardship programs with adequate funding and resources, with good monitoring and evaluation system in hospitals, which need very careful planning with very good base. Components of antibiotic stewardship programs are being done in many hospitals. However, the establishment of fully functional programs need well planning by a central body, which is a component of blueprint becoming a reality. Consideration of sustainability of all activities related to combating AMR is a real need. Commencing outpatient antibiotic therapy (OPAT) in relevant hospitals after studying the most effective way of implementing the activity make the task useful rather than trying to commence it in each and every hospital. Great emphasis ensuring quality assured antibiotics, and antibiotics play a very important role in managing infections and are considered to be life-saving. Every patient should have the opportunity to obtain quality assured antibiotics when needed. Ensuring quality assured antibiotics reaching the healthcare facility in a sustainable and equitable manner would enable the prescribers to follow the national antimicrobial guidelines, thus enabling saving the lives of patients in sepsis. This will enable the clinical microbiologists to ensure adherence to prescribers to national antibiotic guidelines, thus minimizing the development of AMR, leading to patient safety with better outcomes. In the clinical governance framework, microbiologists would appreciate the implementation of regulatory activities as stated in the NSP AMR under Strategy 4, that is, optimization of antibiotics use, thus making it a reality. Great emphasis has already been paid on the diagnosis of AMR and surveillance at the laboratory level through organized laboratory development via the clinical governance framework. Continuous supply of essentials for the above purpose needs further strengthening, recommencing the discussion fora, which provide an excellent platform to raise the current concerns, not only on laboratory aspects, but also on IPC activities, would lead to fruitful outcomes, enabling the blueprint to become reality with favorable outcomes, which help proper distribution of services for the needy centers on a priority basis according to the set policies rather than sticking to individual needs. I am certain that relevant microbiologists will provide expert advice and guidance for such policies and processes through consensus. Regular, well-organized training programs to different stakeholders in upgrading their knowledge, skills, and also attitudes to suit the current context need consideration, and their sustainability with adequate funding well ahead are considered essential aspects for the sustainability of the process. When considering the infection prevention and control IPC arm, healthcare associated infections HAI are increasing locally and globally. This poses a risk to the public when assessing health services and to the healthcare workers when providing care to the patients. This rise in HAIs is due to the exponential rise and spread of antimicrobial resistant pathogens. The two epidemics are intimately connected, as the widespread abuse of antimicrobials is the main driver of AMR, while poor IPC is the main reason for dissemination of these resistant pathogens. Within the clinical governance framework, microbiologists would appreciate the implementation of infection prevention and control activities as stated in the NSP AMR under Strategy 3, that is, reduce the incidence of infection through effective sanitation, hygiene, and infection prevention measures, making it a reality. In a healthcare institution, a microbiologist, as the technical head of the infection control unit, has to take the lead as per the clinical governance framework in ensuring the safety of patients and healthcare staff by performing safe procedures and processes in safe environments during delivery of care, which involves better clinical performance and effectiveness. In achieving this vital task, partnering with the consumers and other organizations like WHO would be an effective means for obtaining valuable inputs and resources in addition to the resources obtained through the Ministry of Health. This should be part of the relevant organizational quality improvement system, which needs funds for its sustainability. Updating the available guidelines, protocols, and other material, as well as making timely availability to the relevant stakeholders without a big hassle would make it a continuous and regular process. SLCM has released many publications related to IPC recently and also in the past with the intention of improving practices among healthcare workers. As clinical microbiologists have been talking about the importance of having quality assured antiseptics, disinfectants, and other items from its registration, procurement, and delivery of the products to the relevant hospitals and other organizations by making use of expertise of microbiologists. It has to be a continuous process, and a breach in any component leads to unfavorable outcomes in the form of outbreaks, severe allergic reactions, discoloration of skin causing other morbidities, and even mortality. Availability of quality and time-tested products are mandatory to ascertain high compliance rates among the users with no harm to patients, healthcare staff, and visitors. Breaches in the process leads to poor compliance, acceptability, and tolerance, thus spreading the nosocomial infections, further increasing the healthcare cost. Having well-performing quality-assured laboratories which enable to test such antiseptics, disinfectants, etc. with adequate human and other resources is another need, helping hospital microbiologists to work within the clinical governance framework, making the blueprint a reality. Through careful planning of specialized units with a clinical microbiologist as one of the designing team members from the initial planning step is done on many occasions with the available IPC manuals and guidelines. However, it needs further emphasis because at the end of the process, many changes cannot be executed and not at all practicable and most of the time impossible, though a large sum of money had been spent for the tasks with the good intention of providing better patient care. However, IPC would not be possible and rather reverse might happen at times. Operation theatres, intensive care units, special care baby units, CSSDs, and other special care units structure and function should ensure safety and quality of work done in the expected protective environment, ultimately leading to successful performance and effectiveness. Risk management is an integral part of this clinical governance framework where blueprint should be directed towards reality without any delay. Improvisation might have to be done considering the basic principles of IPC and not haphazardly without compromising the safety of patients and staff. This can be done through effective communication, respecting team spirit. Prioritization is another very important aspect clinical microbiologists keep in mind in each and every aspect of their role and responsibility. Well-organized independent monitoring and evaluation systems have to be in place within the clinical governance framework, which is a proof that it had been undertaken. This would help to find the possible reasons, thus enabling better planning the next time. System changes, multimodal strategies, availability of resources, and implementation of components which could not be implemented in the third objective of the NSP AMR is a real necessity. Commemorating advocacy days is an effective method to make the public and staff aware of the concepts like hand hygiene, sepsis, safety, and the importance of quality. Continuous professional development courses, attitudinal changes need consideration within the system. High quality research studies would generate data, and through appropriate information management can lead to development of guidelines, etc., and their review and evaluation. Other aspects: microbiologists, virologists, mycologists, immunologists, and parasitologists as the professionals giving technical advice on diagnostic always emphasize the importance of having local validation of test kits before releasing them to hospitals and healthcare institutions. They provide their services in ensuring quality of the products we work with to provide accurate results. Fearless, intelligent, willing to search for new knowledge, firm in decision making, good team worker, IT literacy, and knack for teaching are some of the essential qualities in carrying out the expected roles of a clinical microbiologist within clinical governance framework in making the blueprint reality. Let's see what are the challenges. Nothing is without challenges. Everybody learns from mistakes. Lack of human and other resources and their maldistribution, lack of coordination between different units or departments as well as with other ministerial level institutes, poor initial infrastructure development due to low funding availability, and poor maintenance of units due to multiple reasons, either unavailability of required trained staff or poor funding are some of the issues. Issues related to laboratory infrastructure and equipment, antimicrobial use and infection prevention and control activities, inadequate knowledge, skills, and attitudes of some personnel related to healthcare, quality and safety issues related to the health system, lack of monitoring and evaluation of systems leading to exhaustion, and decline in interest of healthcare personnel are some of them. I am certain that all stakeholders in the process have already taken the courage and enthusiasm to fight the battle through strengthened activities, which would enable us to see the reality in the majority of activities surpassing the blueprint. As the president of the college, I am really happy to work very closely with the Ministry of Health and other related organizations, WHO, etc., with utmost dedication and commitment in ensuring the role of the clinical microbiologist which benefit the poor patients. I am certain that all the organizations will give the SLCM their fullest cooperation in achieving this goal. I would like to announce that the annual scientific sessions of the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists will be held from 24th to 26th August 2022. In addition to the annual sessions, the SLCM has already planned multiple academic and professional corporate and joint initiatives with other professional colleges with the participation of local and international resources through online portals as well as physically within the objectives of the College of Microbiologists, which would benefit the members, non-members, patients, and country as a whole. I am truly grateful to the council members and the larger membership for the support they offer in each and every activity that we undertake. Special thanks go to my honorary joint secretaries of the council, Dr. Deepa Pereira and Dr. Nilushi De Silva, who work tirelessly with immense dedication and commitment. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to two office secretaries, Priyanka and Amanda. Whatever the distance I have traveled in my career, I cannot forget the great debt I owe to my late father and my mother, who nurtured and guided me throughout life, giving me all the opportunities for me to be successful in my chosen career. Then I would like to thank my teachers of Sujata Vidyalaya Matara for molding my character and guiding me to develop capacity, capability, and values in life. I am also extremely grateful to my teachers who taught me during my undergraduate and postgraduate training periods, which enabled me to strengthen my capacity, capability, tolerability, and also learning ethical aspects. I am failing in my duties if I do not mention the name of Professor Vasanthi Thivanesan, who molded me in different aspects during my postgraduate training and was instrumental in commencing this postgraduate course leading to clinical microbiology. I remember with gratitude late Dr.Siri Wickremesinghe, who helped me in numerous ways in completing my MD dissertation on rabies in mongooses and domestic rats in the southern province of Sri Lanka. And still I remember how he was so happy and immediately congratulated me when I won the first prize for the best oral presentation in the 10th annual academic sessions of the Sri Lanka College of Microbiologists in 2001. I sincerely remember Dr. Mala Vimalaratne, who was my supervisor to the MD dissertation and helped me in numerous ways to make it a great success at this moment. I would like to remember Dr. Gayan Kolambage, who taught me ABC on college activities while I was working as one of her honorary joint secretaries in 2006. A special mention must be made of my colleagues, friends, well-wishers, and associates who took me this long, and my two sisters and family for tolerating and encouraging me immensely, being patient and supporting throughout. Finally, I would like to thank everyone here for sacrificing your valuable time and gracing this occasion by being with us today, which enabled me to share my experience in microbiology and infection control aspects. Thank you.